Now that we've marked all our pieces for the dovetails for our drawers, next thing you're going to want to do, if you remember, we have a 1 to 7 degree ratio. That's what we're using for the dovetail. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your blade is angled to that exact degree. So you just take your bevel and you align your blade to match this angle perfectly. Okay. One thing I'm doing a little different here, I have another short video on this, but just real quick, I'm using a dado blade here. This came in the set, a stacked dado set. And the reason why I'm using this is because you have two blades that go on the outside of chippers. So you have a blade like this on one side and a blade similar to this on the outside, and in between you have chippers. So you can go out an inch or more with your dado stack. What makes these unique is that the teeth are angled. They're angled in such a way that when your blade is angled, it's flush along the line, so you're not going to have to really use a chisel. Now they sell blades like this specifically to make dovetails for your table saw, but they're over $150, where all you really have to do is use a stacked dado set blade if you have one. You don't have to spend anything. Or you can go out and you can purchase a stacked dado set, and it's going to be under $100, plus you have a stacked dado set. And you can do this. You could also make dovetails, and so I think that's an option that you should consider. So, all right. So now we're going to get going. We have our fence here, and now we have to adjust the height. Here we go. see if I could show you what I'm talking about. That cut is right on that line, and that's exactly what you want. It's nice and flush, and because of that, no chiseling. It's perfect. Alright, so now that we have the depth set, we're just going to go ahead and we're gonna make some cuts here and cut these dovetails out. So it's going to take a while, so I'm probably going to speed this up a bit. Okay, as you just table saw, and I don't need to use a chisel to this at all, which makes me very pleased. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to go through the rest of our tail pieces, and then when we come back it'll be time for us to cut the pins. Okay, laying out the pins is pretty straightforward. What I and many people do here, you take your bent hand plane, I'm using my bench plane here, you turn it up on end, and this is a known true flat surface. So what you do is you just bring your pin board up until it's level with your hand plane, and then you align the tail piece with your pins, and then you just mark it out with your either a marking knife, or I'm using a mechanical pencil here. Okay, now that I've laid out the pins on the pin boards, I went ahead and I went back to my original all-purpose blade, and I have another fence here. So if you recall, when we cut the tail pieces, we angled the blade. We're not going to do that with the pins. What we're going to do is we're going to angle the miter, your miter gauge. So this fence is not going to be perpendicular to the blade. It's going to be at an angle. And that angle, again, is going to be what you determined on this bevel, and or what we determined was the angle that we captured on this bevel. Again, it's I think it's a 1 to 7 degree. So what you do is you just put your bevel on your fence, and you adjust your miter until it is spot on. And this looks like a winner. Okay. Now we're just going to cut a curve in this fence here. Okay, let's see if these fit together. Okay, when you put your dovetail pieces together, it's kind of important to know that it's... Okay, when you put pieces, when you're putting your dovetail pieces together, it's important to know that if you're using hardwood pieces such as... Okay, it's important to know that if you're putting your dovetail pieces together and your pieces are hardwood like these, you don't want to force it. If you force it, you can actually crack or tear out the dovetails or the pins that you just cut. So you don't want to force it. Mine is a little more forgiving, but hardwood is not. Okay, so let's start the piece together. Snug.
Can't ask for anything better than that, huh?
Alright, so we finished cutting the tails and the pins on all of our drawers. The last step is we have to cut a 1/4 inch groove along the bottom, or what's going to be the bottom of our drawer, to accommodate our drawer bottom, which is going to be made of 1/4 inch MDF. So I'm going to do that on the on my router table. What I've done here, because you don't want to just send your pieces through the router. It's gonna take a 1/4 inch cut into your tail that you just painstakingly cut on the table saw. You don't want to do that. You're going to see that. It's going to be ugly and unprofessional. So what you're going to want to do, or what I did, is I put stops in the back and in the front. So it tells me where to start and it tells me where to end, so that I don't tear in to that dovetail so it could be seen. And on the pins, you don't really have to worry about the pins, because the 1/4 inch groove is going to be somewhere around here, and that's going to be hidden by the tail. So you don't really have to worry about your pins, but the tails you do. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started on that now. I'm going to make one cut and show you what I mean. Okay, you can see that the cut started roughly around right here, and that looks good. This one a little further out, I do have a little bit of breakout. I'm going to have to glue in a piece here and adjust my end stop. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so we've taken our drawers and we've cut in pins, dovetails. We also put in a groove to accept our drawer bottom. It's exactly a 1/4 inch MDF. And now it's time to glue. So we'll get started on that now. Okay, part 4, right here. Thanks, guys.